vlog. So in this video, I'm going to tackle about the three topics, which are the bubble sort, insertion sort, and the selection sort. So I'm also going to teach you on how does it all works. So the first topic that I'm going to teach you is the bubble sort. Before that, we must first need to know what bubble sort means. So bubble sort, sometimes referred to as sinking sort, is a simple sorting algorithm that repeatedly steps through the list, compares adjacent elements, and swap them if they are in wrong order. The algorithm, which is comparison sort, is named for the way smaller or larger elements bubble to the top of the list. Given an array of items, the bubble sort will sort them in increasing order. So for example, we have here the 6 list item of integer, which are the 4, 8, 1, 9, 2, and 5. So the way that bubble sort works is it repeatedly compares adjacent items in the list. We were gonna compare consecutive items, and if the item on the left is larger, then we were going to swap it to the right. If 4 is greater than 8, so let's swap the item, and if 4 is not greater than 8, so there's no swapping of course. So let's jump to the next comparison, compares 8 and 1. If 8 is greater than 1, which it is, then we're gonna swap the two items, where 8 to the right, then 1 to the left. And then we're gonna go to the next comparison, compares 8 to 9. So since 8 is not greater to 9, then we're gonna go to the next comparison, 9 to 2. Then let's swap them. Is the next comparison 9 to 5? Is 9 is greater to 5? Then yes it is. Then we're gonna move 9 here. So after one iteration, this is what our list looks like. Now if you compare that to the original list, you can see that the larger item was moved to the right, then the smaller item to the left. But after one iteration, the 2 is still here and 1 is still here. So it means that the sorting is not yet done, and one that for sure is that largest item, which is 9, is already at the right place. So since 9 is already been sorted, we're gonna look at the item from here to here, which is unsorted. So is 4 is greater than 1? Let's swap. Is 4 greater than 8? So it's not. Let's gonna move to another comparison. Is 8 greater than 2? So let's swap. Is 8 is greater than... Yes. So that completes our second iteration. So our next comparison is 1 and 2. So is 1 is greater than 4? So it's not. Let's move to another comparison. So 4 is greater than 2? Yes it is. Then we're gonna swap them. So we stop when we completed, when we reach the item that we know that already sorted. So now we're done with the third iteration that we're completely sorted. Now we complete the third iteration, and the 4 here is now completely sorted. So the sort are finished. As you can see that we completely sorted the 6 items, and now that's how bubble sort works. So I'm done with bubble sort. So the next topic that I'm going to tackle about is selection sort. So what does selection sort mean? So selection sort is simple sorting algorithm. So the smallest element is selected from the unsorted array and swapped with the leftmost element, and the element becomes a part of the sorted array. So this process continues, moving unsorted array boundary by one element to the right. So given an array of items, so we're gonna sort them in increasing order. How the selection sort works? So it searches through the list to find the smallest item in the unsorted part of the list. And then it goes to the first position on the list. So I have here again the 6th list of item. So the first position where 8 is stored presently, and I'm going to search the whole list and to find the smallest item, so I found out that 1 is the smallest value or the minimum value. So I replace 8 with 1. So after the first iteration, 1 is the minimum value in the list and appears on the first position of the list. So for the second position where 9 is residing, so we start scanning on the minimum value. So as you can see that 2 is the second minimum value in the list and it should be appear here at the second place. So we are going to swap 9 with 2. So this is what the second iteration looks like. So after 2 iteration, the 2 list values are positioned at the beginning in the sorted manner. So the same process is applied to the rest of the items in the array. So you just have to find the minimum values in the list or the smallest value. And you're going to swap the minimum value to the left side and then the largest value to the right side or the largest number. So next is number 5, and then we're going to search the minimum value or the lowest or the smallest value. So as you can see that 4 is the third minimum value, and we're going to swap 5 with 4 and put 5 here. And next is 8. So since 4 is already done, and then we found out that 5 is now the lowest number or the minimum value, and then we're going to swap them again. And next is 9. So the last lowest number is 8, and then we're going to swap them and put 9 to the right side or the last one. So now the list is fully sorted, and then as you can see that the minimum value is in the left side and then the largest value is in the right side. So that's how selection sort works. So the next topic is insertion sort. So let's begin. So what does insertion sort mean? So insertion sort is a simple sorting algorithm that builds with final sorted array or list one at a time. So given an array that item, let's sort them in an increasing order. So let me show you how does insertion sort works. So we take an unsorted array for our example. So let's look at the sample of 6 items. So we're going to start here from the left. So insertion sort compares the first 2 elements, which is 4 and 8. So it finds that both 4 and 8 are already in ascending order. For now, 4 is in sorted list. So since 4 is in sorted list, so let's move to the third item, which is 1, and we're going to compare it with 8. So as you can see that 8 is not in the right position, and compares 1 with 8, and the comparison is 1 is less than 8. So yes, it is 1 is less than 8, and then let's gonna swap 1 and 8. Move 1 to the left and 8 to the right. So our next comparison is 1 less than 4? Well, yes it is. Then we're going to move 1 to the left again and 4 to the right. So what I've said earlier, insertion sort is sorted one at a time. So next we're gonna jump to the item number 9. So let's compare 9 and 8. Well, as you can see that 9 is not less than 8. So let's move to another comparison, which is 2. So is 2 is less than 9? Yes Yes, it is less than 9. So we're going to swap them. And then next comparison is 2 less than 8. Yes, it is. Next is 2 less than 4. Yes. Well, then as you can see that the 3 item is now already sorted. So let's move on to the next comparison. So is 5 less than 9? Yes, it is less than 9. Let's swap it. And then, well, then as you can see that 9 is already at the correct place, and we found out that 5 and 8 is unsorted order. So let's swap them since 5 is less than 8. So next is 5 is less than 4. Well, then it's not. So the sort now is now already finished. So that's how insertion sort works.